A unit circle is defined as any circle with a radius of 1. All the aspects of any circle pertain to the same of the unit circle. The difference is the radius. In a unit circle, radius is 1. In any other circle, the radius varies. Starting at position 1, 0 on the unit circle, one can determine the position of a new point on the circle by the degrees it has traveled. Using theta to represent the degrees rotated, one can determine the new point using the equation x equals cosine theta and y equals sine theta. Further, if you create a right triangle between the origin and the new point, one can determine the new distance the point lies from the x-axis and the y-axis. In the greater scheme of things, we can apply this information to problems about Ferris wheels, or even bike wheels.
Centered 11 meters above the ground, a Ferris wheel of radius 10 moves at 1 degree per second. Taylor starts at the lowest point to the ground. How high is Taylor after 23 seconds and after t seconds? So given the radius of 10 and the seconds 23, which comes up to 23 degrees, we want to find the length of this section right here. To do that, we use cosine 23 equals x over 10, multiply 10 times cosine 23 to get x. And x comes out to 9.2. And this section is 9.2. And given that the radius is 10, makes this section 0.8. And when added to this distance of 1, the Ferris wheel is already set above the ground, gives us a total height of 1.8 meters.
Liz is riding a unicycle with a wheel with a 30-inch diameter. The bottom of the wheel picks up a piece of gum and continues to roll another 112 feet before stopping. How far above the ground is the piece of gum now? Then first we have to find the entire circumference of the circle. So to do that, we calculate the circumference knowing that the radius of the circle is 15, and we get 30 pi. Then we have to find out the total distance that the wheel is going to travel. In this case, we have to stay in our unit of inches, so we convert 112 feet by multiply it by 12 inches, and we get 1,344 inches. Then our total in number of inches divided by the circumference of the wheel, we get 14.2603, and the only important part of that is the decimal at the end, because it makes 14 total rotations, and that is the distance that the gum has traveled on its last rotation. So to calculate that, we take 0.26 and multiply it by 360 degrees, the total degrees in the circle, and we get 93.6 degrees. So then we come over to our wheel, and starting from the base, which is right here, we add 93.6 degrees. Knowing that this quadrant right here is 90 degrees, we know that this angle right here is 3.6 degrees. We're then going to calculate this distance right here. And using sine 3.6 equals the opposite side over the hypotenuse, we can calculate that this distance right here is 0.942. And because we know that this entire distance right here is going to be 15, we add the two together and we find that the total height is 15.924 inches.